Cold open. December 1943. A frozen German airfield. The first light of dawn barely touched the snow-covered runway at Rechlin Luftwaffe Test Center, the most secret airbase in Nazi Germany. The wind cut across the field, sharp as a blade, carrying the metallic smell of fuel and cold steel, and then a sound no one on the airfield had ever heard before. A long, throaty rumble, smooth, confident. Nothing like the rough growl of a Messerschmitt, nor the sharp whine of a Focke-Wulf. Mechanics paused mid-step. One dropped his wrench. Another looked to the sky in disbelief. A silhouette descended through the fog, sleek, long-nosed. Its wings curved like a predator. Someone whispered, "Was zum Teufel ist das? What the hell is that?" The aircraft touched down lightly, almost gracefully, skidding across the thin layer of frost before rolling to a stop. The black cross of the Luftwaffe was already painted on its fuselage, but it did not belong there, because this aircraft had been American. A P-51B Mustang, captured intact, and the man chosen to fly it, to push it, to break it, to understand it, was standing at the edge of the runway, with a leather flight jacket clutched tight against the cold. Hauptmann Hans-Werner Lerche, one of Germany's greatest test pilots, a man trusted with machines too dangerous for anyone else. He stared at the Mustang as if looking at a ghost. This was the fighter German pilots had been whispering about for months. Fast, mysterious, rumoured to escort bombers all the way into the heart of the Reich, rumoured to have impossible range, rumoured to climb like no aircraft Germany possessed, rumoured to change the war, and now it sat right in front of him. The Mustang's arrival. A quiet shock. 2 days earlier, German forces in Denmark had recovered it. An American pilot from the 354th Fighter Group had lost his way in cloud cover and landed wheels down on German soil, hoping he was in England. He was wrong. The Luftwaffe didn't waste a second. The Mustang was disassembled, railed under heavy guard, and reassembled at Rechlin with clinical precision. But there was something else, something that had every German officer quietly terrified. The Mustang wasn't just well designed, it was perfectly manufactured. Rivets aligned with surgical precision, wiring bundled like an engineer's dream. Access panels opened smoothly. The cockpit instruments glowed with American confidence. This wasn't a fluke machine. This was mass production, at a level Germany could never match. But Lerche didn't think about industry. He thought about flying. He touched the Mustang's wing with a gloved hand. Cold metal, smooth finish, the scent of oil and long-dried gunpowder. He allowed himself one quiet thought. If this aircraft is as good as they say, we may be in trouble. The briefing. Tell us everything. Inside a dimly lit hangar, a small group of officers gathered around a long metal table. A flood lamp hung overhead, illuminating a stack of American blueprints and maintenance logs recovered from the aircraft. Colonel Werner Baumbach, the operations chief, spoke bluntly. "We need to know why this machine is beating our pilots." The Mustang's reputation had been spreading like wildfire. Stories of Mustangs diving from impossibly high altitudes, appearing suddenly in the 6 o'clock of BF-10-9s, running down FW-190S, even after long escort flights, and, worst of all, meeting bomber formations deep inside Germany. Baumbach tapped the blueprints. Speed, range, stability, rate of climb, turning capability. He looked at Lerche. "You will find its strengths and its weaknesses, and you will report them." There was no applause, no ceremony, just quiet expectation. Lerche nodded once. Deep inside, he felt something strange. Not fear, respect. First contact. Inside the cockpit. He climbed the ladder to the open canopy. Cold metal groaned under his boots. When he lowered himself into the cockpit, something felt wrong. No, not wrong. Different. Radically different. The P-51 cockpit was open, clean, logical. Every dial placed with a purpose. Every switch within natural reach. German cockpits, especially the Bf-109, were known for being cramped, almost claustrophobic. But the Mustang, it felt like sitting in a command center. Lerche adjusted the seat. Perfect visibility. Almost no obstruction. A bubble canopy without the bulk of German framing. Damn, he muttered softly. He understood immediately why Allied pilots praised it. The engine. The first shock. The mechanics primed the fuel lines. Lerche settled deeper into the seat, flicked the magnetos, and pushed the starter. The Packard-built Rolls-Royce Merlin Phi 1650 engine coughed once, then roared to life like a waking lion. Not sputtering, not choking, just a clean, continuous thunder. It vibrated through the cockpit, powerful but smooth. Lerche blinked. German engines were good. The Daimler-Benz DB605 was excellent. But this was refinement. Power without aggression. He advanced the throttle gently. The Mustang rolled forward with obedience. It wanted to fly. Takeoff. This is not an ordinary enemy aircraft. The snow kicked up behind the tailwheel as the aircraft accelerated. 40 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour. The Mustang lifted off the runway almost effortlessly. Lerche pushed the throttle higher, and suddenly, he felt it. A surge of acceleration, unlike anything he had flown. The Mustang climbed like a devil unchained. He looked at the altimeter. He looked again. Incredibly fast gain. Then he whispered a single sentence. So this is what the Americans have created. The sky test. Truth in the clouds. At 10,000 feet, he leveled off. The controls were light, responsive, almost too perfect. He pushed the Mustang into a hard banking turn. It stayed smooth. No shake, no complaint, just precision. Then he tested a dive. The aircraft sliced downward like a blade. Acceleration built rapidly, dangerously so, but control remained effortless. He pulled back gently. The P-51 stabilized without protest. Lerche couldn't believe it. He had flown everything from 109s and 190s to captured P-47 Thunderbolts. Nothing behaved like this. Nothing. The moment of realization. He radioed down to the ground crew. His voice was calm, but inside, he felt the weight of what he had discovered. This aircraft, a long pause, is superior to ours in almost every respect. Static filled the radio for a moment. Then the controller responded, "Repeat." Lerche looked over the long silver nose of the Mustang, the horizon stretching endlessly before him. "Superior," he repeated. "In speed, in climb, in range, in handling. We are outmatched." That sentence would spread quietly through the Luftwaffe High Command. That sentence would terrify every officer who heard it. That sentence meant Germany had met the aircraft that would destroy its air force.